Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Glover. I am the candidate for governor for Florida. You guys remember the statement, or if you don't, there was a statement, and it was violence is the language of the unheard. We remember, we watch, and we are watching citizens show up, like the ones that showed up and said, hey, we don't want this data center here. And the board decided to do it anyway, right? You had the majority of the citizens show up and say, hey, we just don't want it. That's more people than who's on the board. But the system didn't allow for that to matter. So they chose the language of the unheard, which was violence. You saw the person burn down the place in California, and then they tried to burn down another, an Amazon place. We're watching people choose violence because that's the language of the unheard. When you have nothing left, you rage out. And we're seeing citizens be okay with that. I'm running for office. This is the sole purpose, is to make sure that your voice is not unheard. It's to put a system in place so that when people show up, it matters. Not so you just show up and you can just say something and people can say they heard it and they can record it and they have it for the record, but then they can still just make whatever decision they want to make. I was on an interview with Our Vote Counts. You should really look them up. I believe they're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You should look them up. I was on an interview with Our Vote Counts, and they do a really good job of bringing different people running for office from all over the country together to have roundtables on Sundays. You guys should really look into hearing what is happening everywhere and really reaching out. One of the questions that was asked of me was, what would I do day one? And I told them, oh, that's easy. I would veto every bill that came across my desk until the system that I want to put in place is in place so that citizens have control over elected officials. The follow-up to that was, do you believe that you are abrogating your responsibility? This means, do I believe that I'm not doing the job that I was put in office to do? And I answered that, absolutely not. I'm running for office as governor of Florida to ensure that the structure is in place that supports the citizens, so that you don't go to any meeting on any level of an elected official and be able to say that, hey, there's 100 of us in here who are pleading with you to say, we don't want this and we can get more people, but we need you to stop what you're doing right now. And 7 people decide to do it anyway because your voice is not the main influence in the room. I'm running for office to give you more influence, to make sure that the structure in place works for the citizen. It means so much to me for you to understand that. So much. There are so many things that are happening right now, and we do not want to go the route. We don't want to see citizens force themselves into the route of having to be violent because they are going unheard. So right now, what you can do in the midst of, what you can do in conjunction with, what you can do parallel to what you're currently doing, is go to glover2026.com, fill out a petition and turn it in. Just turn in the sheet of paper with your signature on it and say that, hey, I'm turning this in for this candidate because I want the system to work for me. I don't just want the candidate to work for me. I want to make sure that the system works. So when the person, because the system allows for money to influence the person, when the person is influenced by money, the system gives us a place that are not influenced by money to make sure that we are clear-minded and we can rein you back in. Our legislative, judicial, and executive branches at all levels need to be reined in and beholden to the citizens. It means that the legislative, executive, and judicial branches need to answer to its citizens, the people who pay your taxes, who put you in these offices. You need to make sure that you are doing right by. And if you are not, then those citizens who hire you for those positions need to be able to hold you accountable. I'm asking for you to support me in being able to do that. Now, I know, because I've had this question multiple times. Well, citizens right now, they want to hear what you're going to do about insurance. They want to hear what you're going to do about rent relief. All of this works with that. This is the first step to touching that. I have touched this in so many different videos. I've touched it in videos. I've addressed this on my webpage. If we get this step done, we can touch every other issue in the state of Florida and even start to affect issues that are happening at the federal level as well. Once we get a systemic way to hold all elected officials accountable to the people who hire them, you will start to see the changes that you want to see on a very global scale, on a very national scale. But first and foremost, we need to get control in these states. These state elections are very important. And if you were just hiring somebody because they're a Republican, if you were just hiring somebody because they're a Democrat, you are part of the problem. Matter of fact, you are the problem. If none of these individuals are willing to change the system, I have given you my 2-year plan. You just have to go to Glover2026.com, look it up. Matter of fact, if you're on any of my videos, it says 2-year plan. How we can do this without legislators. It is possible. I just want to know that you want to do it as well. Let's get control. You guys have a great day.